Well, the Gerhard Struber era is certainly underway, and Bristol City have wasted no time in making the first move in the transfer window, which is now open again. And Bristol City have announced the signing of star Plymouth Argyle midfielder Adam Randell, who has joined Bristol City and will be adding to what now looks like a very impressive roster in midfield for Bristol City, and will be adding a hell of a lot of quality in there. So let's talk about Adam Randell and what he could be potentially bringing to this Bristol City midfield. First of all, Adam Randell, what sort of player is he in general terms? He's not a goal-scoring midfielder. He's similar to Knight in a way, and I mentioned this in the video yesterday, where he's got a bit of running about him, and he's a little bit like Max Bird, so he's kind of a hybrid of them two in a little bit, maybe just a little bit down in terms of quality, but still a very good player, and definitely stood out in that Plymouth Argyle team who got relegated. He's got that, as I said, that engine about him, and you just have to see a couple of clips where against Plymouth away at Leeds, where he makes a long bursting run into the box. So he's got that quality about him, and the passing range is certainly there. Makes a hell of a lot of passes for Plymouth. Certainly integral to how they play in terms of that possession-based system. So there's a lot of things to like about Randell. He's a bit of a hybrid in terms of he can do a lot. He's a bit of a jack-of-all-trades kind of player. But certainly someone very nice to have in terms of an option for Bristol City, and certainly that's what it looks like he will be. Certainly think that he's probably a lot better defensively than he is going forward. That doesn't mean he's a bad player going forward. Has scored some nice goals for Argyle going forward. Nice free kick taker, scored an excellent one away at Derby earlier in the season. So has got a sort of nice array of sort of attributes to him, but defensively he's probably a lot better than he is going forward, and that's probably the main takeaway from Randell in terms of the Championship last season, how he compared to other players in his position. Note, first half of the season played under Wayne Rooney and played for an Argyle team who ultimately didn't accrue a terrible number of points for a team that eventually went down, but still, one of the worst teams in the division. So all of these have to be taken with a little bit of pinch of salt and a little bit of context added to it as well. Won 55.2% of duels, and considering Plymouth last season, now that puts him in the 73.8 percentile compared to his peers. Considering Plymouth, generally try to play at the back, try and possess a possession-based system, especially at home park. They'll be aggressive and stuff. That's not bad. That's not a bad sort of number to be at, and not a bad place to be at, especially compared to a lot of quality players in that midfield region, the Championship. For a short person, relatively short person, I can't speak, relatively short person, Adam Randell, surprisingly, wins a hell of a lot of duels, 56.7% of duels he's won per 90. And that, again, puts him in the 76.2 percentile, which is slightly higher. So he's a very much combative midfielder. He's not someone that's going to be, backing out of a challenge, and we may just lack that in our midfield, just a little. We've got Max Bird, who's a very good operator on the ball, very calm, very composed. Knight, who's a little bit of everything, a bit of a Duracell bunny, as I love to call him. McGuane is a little bit of a, calm head in midfield. Joe Williams is probably a lot more similar to Randell in that way. So maybe a little bit of, resemblance to Williams in defensive numbers, in terms of, his defensive qualities is what this midfield needs. And a little bit of bite, a little bit of aggressiveness never goes missing in the Championship. 1.5 interceptions per 90. That's certainly putting him in the top percentile compared to the rest of his peers in the Championship. So some positive defensive numbers. Offensively, not quite there, but certainly, we've got hold of someone who knows his way around the Championship. A hell of a lot of appearances for Plymouth in League One and in the Championship. 2 full seasons with Argyle in the second tier, so has got experience. Picked him up on a relatively low fee, reportedly. This looks, I think, in my opinion, a very smart signing. So I thought, let's have a little bit of a deeper look into Randell and how he would compare to one of our midfielders. And I thought, not really that close tonight, not really that similar to Bird, probably most closest to Joe Williams. So let's have a look. I had a look at both of their seasons, and it was certainly interesting, because a lot of the numbers actually suited Adam Randell in terms of defensively, interceptions, tackles, clearances, block shots, all of those sort of defensive midfielder numbers, the raw numbers you want from a defensive midfielder, certainly went in Aaron Randall's favour. Obviously, Plymouth, much worse performing team than Bristol City last season. That will have an impact on them. Certainly, Argyle away from home at points, completely under the pump for large portions of it. So that will have an impact. Randall, though, compared to Williams, a lot more games, a lot more minutes, a lot more reliable. 39 games played for Argyle. So, look, is he an upgrade on Joe Williams? Is he someone that's going to come straight in and replace Williams? I don't know. Williams had an interesting 24-25. Was he his spectacular best, especially those last 6 months of the season before, where loads of us, including me, were shouting for a new Joe Williams contract. Was he at his complete best throughout the season? Probably not. He had moments, wasn't available for large proportions of it, but had an okay campaign. Is he an upgrade? 24 years old, Adam Randell, 28. Joe Williams, is there a higher sell-on value? Is there a higher upside to Adam Randell than there is Joe Williams? Yeah, probably. Randell is one of the highest rated midfielders in the EFL. So that is got to be a point. And again, this provides a lot more competition for Bristol City, and certainly provides a lot more competition for Joe Williams as well. Also, as terms of Gerhard Struber and his squad, well, it provides a lovely option, doesn't it? If Williams is not available for whatever reason, Randell can come straight in. If Randell's playing well, absolutely no problem. It's just about having options, I think, for Struber, and the addition of Randell, the midfielders, I think, yeah, if we don't lose Knight, ready to go.
Mike's cut out and has died. But yeah, closing thoughts on Adam Randell would be, at 24, he's a really good age and looks like will have a massive upside to him. Bristol City have reportedly picked him up for a nice fee, about half a million, which compared to some of the fees we spent over years, it's not bad, and Championship standards, it's not bad. We've picked up someone with a hell of a lot of Championship experience, 2 full seasons in the Championship, playing for a side that have been down there, just survived in their first season and then got relegated the season after. So I think we've picked up someone who has had a lot of experience in the Championship. That's pretty obvious. Has learned stuff. 24, still a good age, and again shows the sort of numbers and the ages that we've been recruiting over the past few transfer windows, and he certainly fits that bill. And yeah, this looks like a very smart signing for Bristol City. Low risk, relatively, signing for Bristol City. For Randall's perspective, it's not a hell of a move in terms of personally from Plymouth to Bristol. I mean, it's still a lengthy journey, but it's not Middlesbrough or something like that. So look, I think it's a good move for all parties. Bristol City have taken advantage of a relegation clause, and honestly, I think he'll provide some brilliant competition in midfield. Question is, will Struber like him? And my inkling is probably that he's really going to like Adam Randell. The defensive sort of numbers and stats I've looked at, how he is as a player, as a character. I think Randall's really going to fit in well with Struber. I think Struber's really going to like him. I think he's going to be a really good squad option to have if he doesn't play that many games. But this is football. You're going to get your chance, and I think Randall's going to get his at some point in the season, whether that's starting the first game of the season or coming in match 10 off the bench or something like that. I think we're going to get to see Adam Randell a hell of a lot next season. I'm really excited to see that as well. So yeah, welcome Adam Randell to Bristol City Football Club. Welcome to the Madhouse. It is going to be hopefully a very successful time for you, for Randell at Bristol City, and yeah, hopefully we see the best of I think very talented young player, probably one of the most sort of highly rated midfielders in the whole EFL, and I think we've got a really good one here. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Adam Randell in the comment section down below, Bristol City fans and Argyle fans if you are here as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Keep safe, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.